What's going on, guys? So it's Derek here again, and we're gonna do sort of just a little video tonight, just to keep everything rolling, make sure there's no breakups in the content that I'm going to be putting out. So tonight I'm gonna be doing shoulders. So in the past I had been showing just windlers, and I had been doing a lot of military press, but in between my last windlers video and towards the end of the year, I had quit doing military press completely, and that was because I jumped on a different bench press program since I was really focusing on my incline. I never really did military press specifically just because I was already hitting my front delts so hard from doing the military. So I'm going to show you guys right now what my current pre-workout is that I take whenever I'm tired or need a little boost. And then I'll show you the routine that I've been going through for my shoulders. So with that, here we go. And of course, the living room's still a mess. Almost launch time, guys. Don't forget to check out alphagrindfitness.com Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But right now, my current pre-workout is still the Steel Nutrition NO Matrix. This is the same bottle that I bought from Landon probably a couple months back now. Still love this stuff. It's great. But what I've also been adding to it recently, just got it actually in stock for the store. For the launch is New Pump by Man Sports. So I've seen a lot of good things about this, and of course, if you guys seen the online coach on YouTube, of course he uses all of Man Sports products, and I've really just sort of been excited to try this stuff out. So I'm gonna get this stuff in tonight, and go in for shoulders and see if it really gives you a new pump. All right, guys, let's get into it. So getting back into shoulders here, we're going to start out with military press. And of course, like I said, I haven't done it in a very long time. So what I wanted to do tonight is just sort of get warmed back up into it. Sort of hit some decently heavy weight, not very heavy. But I pretty much did 4 sets of about 5 to 8 reps, depending on, how each set was feeling. And just kept pushing through it. But right there, you'll see my Inter lever belt that I got for Christmas. I've never actually used it on military press, so I was wondering how it would feel actually doing it with the belt on. And one thing that I noticed, that whenever I lean back, it doesn't really feel like I'm doing anything. I feel it a lot more whenever the bar is lowering, and I'm sort of compressing everything than I do when I'm actually pushing. Now, with that belt, of course, you can't pick which hole you want to use. It's set to that one specific size for your body, which I do like. But I feel like if I could have went 1 notch tighter on military, it would have helped me a lot more. But for squats and deadlifts, the belt was definitely a great thing to have, and you can definitely tell that it keeps your core tight and helps you complete the lifts a lot cleaner and make them look a lot better. But going into this, my shoulders have always been really weak overhead and incline. Just my front delts have never been a very strong part of my body. So that's one thing I'm definitely going to work on bringing up this year. But right there, grinding out that last rep, and we're going into the next exercise right here. All right, guys, so one lift I like to incorporate for myself is upright rows. And of course, if you've ever done with the bar, some people have a lot of trouble with their wrists or even their shoulders whenever they get to the top of the lift. So one thing you should try to do, grab a pair of bands and wrap it underneath something. So right here, I got the Smith machine. But I've got 2 sets of bands. One's a 30-pound band, this one's a 3-pound band. But I mean, just make the weight work, make the numbers come up to whatever you want to. But if you just wrap it under something, you can even use your foot if you don't have anything available. But just hold the bands together, and then you can stand just like you normally would. But since you're pulling the band, it's not going to put as much tension on your wrists, it's not going to put as much tension on your shoulders. And it's going to allow you to complete a much cleaner, better looking rep. So then just, of course, same thing as normal upright row. Pull up really strong and hard with your elbows and complete the lift. And of course, another thing with bands that's really cool is obviously the more you stretch it, the tougher it's going to get. So when you get to the top of that motion, when you're really squeezing the front delt, you're going to get a crazy pump out of doing this too. So great exercise. Definitely try this. If you guys have some bands laying around, it is an amazing exercise for your shoulders. So again, guys, this is an awesome exercise, and the main thing is, since you're not holding directly onto a straight bar, putting your wrists in such a bind at the top of the lift, it allows you to pull a lot stronger at the top, as well as get a better contraction and everything on your front delts. So using the bands, I think it's easier than even an easy bar. Just like I said, just for the way that you can hold your wrist and sort of manipulate the positioning of your wrist at the top of the lift. It makes a huge difference on being able to do this. So usually going into a new routine, I'll follow the same lifts for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll switch and do something different. So I always alternate upright curls with just a front delt raise, and just sort of go back and forth. Sometimes I'll use dumbbells, sometimes I'll use a plate, sometimes I'll use the bands or cable, but just keeping all the exercises different, just keep rotating through exercises. That's going to allow you to get the most benefit out of doing everything, because it doesn't matter what lift you're doing. If you can do it a little bit differently, it's always going to hit the fibers a little bit differently, and it's going to allow you to build a fuller shoulder from the front all the way to the back. So always alternate your exercises. Now, it's not about alternating every single week, because when you alternate every week, you can't track your progress. If you do like this dumbbell lateral raises, if you do those this week and the next week you do cables, and then the next week you go back to dumbbells, you can't really track your progress, because each week the weight's going to be different, and it's harder to push yourself because you don't really know how much you're going up in one particular weight. And that's the same thing, obviously, like with your major lifts. If you're not tracking your first lift, you're not going to be able to track your overall progress in the lift. Now, sometimes it is good to break off from your regular routine, like I did with my bench press. Instead of doing flat bench, I ended up going in and doing incline bench, and that ended up dramatically helping my overall bench press. But again, I didn't go back and forth between flat bench and incline. I followed the incline for almost 2 months in order to get that. Now, right here with the face pulls, I prefer doing them seated like this, because whenever you pull the bar or pull the rope from the ground, it also gives you your upper traps a little bit of the tension as well. Whenever you're doing the standing face pulls and the rope is coming down, I feel like that does put more emphasis on your rear delt. But doing it this way, it sort of builds your overall back from each shoulder across the traps and everything across your upper back. So this is a great exercise, and doing it seated, it also allows you to put more weight on the bar, just because of the way that you've got your feet planted against something, and it allows you something to brace yourself with. Whereas the standing ones, the only thing bracing you really is your core, and a lot of the times you can't get as much weight onto the rope. But I did do shrugs after this, but my camera ended up dying, so this is going to be the last exercise that you guys see. But again, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the lifting, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.